Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mandatory Social Interaction Show. My name is Ben, and I am joined with my lovely co-host Tim.
Hello.
And we also, as a bonus, have the effervescent ShakkaPanda with us today, back for
What?
Heyo.
more. And we are just gonna be sitting around and playing some Minecraft for an hour or so,
Shaka,
and
it's so lovely to
chatting
see
about
you.
stuff. Yep, it is good
Oh,
to
it's so
see
good
you
to be
again.
back. Thank you for having me on
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
of
excited
course.
that I'm apparently effervescent. I guess I'm
You are.
bubbly,
You are.
Oh,
You're-
which is
yeah.
wonderful.
You are
Oh,
quite
seriously,
fantastic.
that's one of the better adjectives that I could think of to describe you.
Well, thank you.
I don't
Now
know.
I'm curious about what the other ones would be.
I don't know whether I should say shots fired or not. I don't really know.
How
But yeah,
about shirts furred?
shirts were. So
We can.
I wanted to start by saying that I was watching Ben's show, his YouTube show that he does, the creative exploration series, and
Sure.
you did an interview with him.
Oh yeah, that came out
did.
on Monday, didn't it?
Did it? Was it Monday?
Yep.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it came out-
I
it came
watched
out this
it.
Monday. We
I'm gonna-
recorded it like forever ago.
Well, I'm gonna be.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
gonna
like
be
a week or two ago.
I'm gonna be straight up and tell you guys that like that was a powerful interview, and you guys, it was real good. Like you had
Oh,
some
really?
really
Wow, that's
amazing information in there, and actually, Shaka, you totally inspired me to do better. So to do more stuff
Oh.
and to because like you talked about time, and you were like, it's all a matter. It's not do you have time
We're
or
under
not.
attack.
Yeah, I know.
It's not do you have time
right.
or not. It's do I make the time? Because you have the time. It's a resource that everybody has. It's just a matter of how you manage it and how you distribute it. It's not that you don't have time, because you can have time if you want to make time for it. And
Yeah,
that
there was somebody on Face or on Twitter that was really powerfully affected by that one as well. And something that he said that really stuck with me was that everybody has the same amount of time. Period. Like literally, that is a finite thing.
Mhm.
Every single day, everybody has 24 hours, and it's just depending on how you choose to use it. It's not like somehow magically one person has more or less access to that resource. It is a resource that is finite, yes, but everybody has access to the exact same amount.
right. And that I loved that. I thought that was great because I used to do that all the time. I used to be like, no, I don't have time. I don't have time. And it's like I got to get better at saying no in the correct way, because saying I don't have time, I should be saying I got this to work on. I got this to do. I'm doing this, rather than
Yeah.
saying
Right.
I don't have time. Because first off, I think that's kind of crappy, because it's saying I don't have time for you, right, and not giving them a valid explanation as to why you quote unquote don't have time. And I thought a lot about that whole interview, and I just thought it was fantastic. So you did really well, and I encourage everybody who listens to this, who's watching MSIS, to go check it out. It's on Ben's channel, youtube.com/Ben_Burns, and it's the Creative Exploration series, and I think it's just called Interview with ShakkaPanda.
Yep.
Yep.
And it is A+. And I'm not saying that just to inflate the egos of the ow, you stabbed me, of the
Of the
gentlemen.
effervescent panda.
Yes, exactly. Of the gentlemen who are joining me, but honestly, it was really good stuff, and I caught you shortly after I watched it, I believe, and you were doing some video editing as well. Was that was?
Yes.
Yeah, and I was watching you do video editing, and it really got me in the mood to start like editing. Like I was just like, you know what? I've been like delaying and putting it off. I just need to do it. Just do. And so I started
Sure.
doing that. So I just want you to know that your words have power. So it's
Thank
good
you.
stuff. It's good stuff. So.
I'm so that warms my fuzzy little panda heart. I really, there's there's a gentleman who I find a lot of inspiration from. If we're talking about inspiration, he doesn't really work in. I guess he does kind of operate old school back in the day in our realm of content creation on YouTube and whatnot. But are you familiar with the he's a marketing expert and entrepreneur, Gary Vaynerchuk?
Nope.
I
Name
would
sounds
highly recommend
vaguely
checking out his
familiar,
stuff.
but yeah.
He's often goes by Gary Vee. His last name is like super crazy difficult to spell. It's this like insane like Jewish Russian name.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he's like a little ball of energy, and I truly draw a substantial amount of my inspiration and excitement from consuming his work.
Okay.
You know, we all have somebody who we really appreciate and enjoy, and he's definitely that for me. Among other people, you know, people like Seth Godin, you know, people like Malcolm Gladwell. Like, there's really a lot of extraordinary human beings in the world that have insightful things to say, and I eat that up. It's just I love it. But he's really neat, and I would highly recommend people checking him out. A lot of the things that I was saying were inspired by research that I've done like that,
Right.
and you know, and all of that comes from being like hungry for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things that is something that I learned the hard way back when I was doing comic book stuff long ago was that it is very easy to be romantic about the idea of doing something and have no clue what it's really like
Yes.
when you're down in the trenches day by day.
Well, and that's
hustling.
how I learned, you know, the hard way how much work goes into any kind of content creation, and
Totally.
it's one of those things that you know you just gotta just do it and get your hands dirty. I mean, I was watching. I don't know if you've ever heard of Michael Jones. He's one of the achievement hunters. He was in he works for Rooster Teeth, and he was in the movie Laser Team and all that stuff.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he's fantastic. He was just a kid who was making videos that where he would just get really mad at the game and scream at it in a funny way because he's from Jersey, so he's got that accent, and he just comes up with
Right.
really creative, like, you know, things like horrible things to say about the game or whatever. And like he actually, like, he made a video that got him noticed by Rooster Teeth, and that's how he got his job there. And he's incredible now. Like he was like, I didn't know how to do any editing, I didn't know how to do anything, and they brought me in and kind of showed me the ropes. And he's like, and he said something that really resonated with me because that guy is an inspiration to me. Just like Ray Narvaez Jr. Goes by Brown Man on Twitch. He's one of my big inspirations for streaming. But what Michael says is he said, just do it. Just make content. It doesn't matter if it's good. It doesn't matter if it's crap. It doesn't matter if, you know, it's absolutely, you know, if you feel like it's absolutely pointless and no one watches it. Just make it and get better and just keep working at it.
Yes.
And you'll never get any better unless you do it. And you've just got to do it. Just get your hands dirty and get into it. And that was another thing that, like, this week I listened to, and it's like this whole week has just been full of these really cool, like, inspirational kick me in the pants type things. It's like, Tim, get your head in the game and do it, you know? And it's like I don't know, I just finally broke down. I'd been recording my my streams, my live streams, for quite some time. And putting them out on YouTube unedited. So all my videos came in at, like, you know, 2 hours, 3 hours, minimum of like an hour, which is huge. I mean, for a YouTube audience, that's massive. And so
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, and so what I ended up doing is I took my recordings and I finally just threw it in. I created a bumper. Because watching you do your editing really was just like, that's awesome. This is what I want to do, and I need to start practicing because I'm never gonna get it if I don't just do. And so I threw the video into Premiere and just started editing. Just started cutting out bits and you know, familiarizing myself with the UI. And I mean, the result wasn't amazing. I mean, all it is just my stream that was over an hour long trimmed down to 20 minutes, but that's digestible. So all the highlights are there and all the good stuff's there with a nice bumper and a subscribe link at the end and all that stuff. But yeah, so pretty much, like, you are a direct result or a direct cause of that. So just know that you're actually encouraging people to do crap, because I know that quite often as a content creator, it can be a thankless job sometimes. So I just want you and Ben to know that I appreciate what you guys did, because it did have a positive effect on me. And I actually edited a video and I rewatched it, and it's not great. I mean, but that's the nature of it, right? I mean, you're not going to be perfect the first time you do something. So I went ahead and I started doing I did a second episode in the same stream, because my streams are long. I have a lot of content I can work with. Out of a 4-hour stream, I can get 2 episodes of a 20-minute show, like cut it into parts
Sure.
and just trim it down. And playing a game like Fallout 4, there's a lot of downtime, a lot of just time you can cut out of just doing nothing. So like I was able to cut
Walking simulator.
Yes, I was able to cut huge swaths out and just leave the combat and the like NPC interactions, like the important story bits, and the times that were pretty funny when I was interacting with my wife, because she joined me on the webcam.
Nice.
Because she's an expert, so she was kind of guiding me through. And so
she's
it's just
a Fallout expert.
Oh, she is. She's put hundreds and hundreds of hours into Fallout 4. So
it's easy to do.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in. So she was kind of helping me out, and it just in my second episode, I actually went ahead and did some like real actual editing stuff. Oops, that was bad.
Put in some dank memes.
I did because
Oh,
there was a point where where the wife sees a telephone and she's like, telephone, and she gets excited about it. And so I put a little, I copied that little bit and then like repeated it because it was funny. And then I repeated it again at like 50% speed. So it sounded like, like telephone, and then, and zoomed in on her face. And it was pretty funny. And so that, that I never would have really learned how to do that had I not actually just decided to start like poking at it and do it. And so, so I kind of, watching your stream while you did your editing for your Let's Play. I mean, your Let's Plays are a lot more focused, and you go in with the intent of making a Let's Play video, which is a little different, I think, than having a stream, because there is a lot of interaction with chat, and there's a lot of side stuff that's hard to decide what to keep and what to get rid of. So, so anyways, I mean, I'm getting off on a tangent a little bit, but I just want you to know that you and Ben's content made a difference in at least one person. So there's that.
Hey, that's all I can. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I really appreciate
that's the
you
point.
saying that.
That's what it's all about, really. I mean, it sounds sort of cheesy, like everybody says, well, that's what it's all about. That's why we do it. But it is. It really and truly is.
Yeah,
I mean,
genuine,
I would assert that an artist's heart is and primary motivation is connection with other human beings.
Yes. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Right. There are some rather rabble-rousing, controversial type things as far as art theory or values or whatnot that a sort of virtual mentor of mine, Seth Godin, who is amazing, and you should read everything he's ever written. The guy is brilliant. Really. But he, one of the things that he says, and it's in a more of a business sense, and so you got to kind of not look at it as like a studio artist. This is not really advice for a studio artist. It's more advice for someone who's doing content creation or business or something like that. And what he asserted is that it's not art until someone sees it. It's not art until you share it. Because and I think that what I've come to, I don't agree with that 100%. I think that in some cases art is therapeutic, it's personal, and it doesn't have to do with anybody else. But for me and the way that I make creative work, that resonates a great deal. And
can I say something? Oh, sorry, I'll let you finish.
Okay. Let's see. The thing that my takeaway from that, because I've spent time doing, painting and comic books and stuff, and there's absolutely a layer of enjoying it just for yourself. But the reason why I like that, and I feel like it's a very powerful statement, and kind of what I've come to with that, is that there is a lot about being an artist, especially professionally, if you put that kind of caveat on there, that is absolutely 100% something that does not exist, and you do not get to learn to be graceful with it and skillful with it as a profession, as a skill set, until you put it in front of somebody and hear criticism, hear mean things, hear kind things, have it feel like you're screaming into the void and no one's paying attention, or get something that goes viral all of a sudden. There is so much of the experience of creating something that you don't get to, I don't know if the word enjoy is fair, but that you don't get to even experience until you are being vulnerable and putting it out there,
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like you said, that it's not art until somebody sees it, and I'm gonna go a step further from that and say it's not really art until you abandon it, like until you're done with it. And I mean, I
until
like
you ship it.
Yeah, because it's a project until then, right?
Yeah, it's a project, and it's something that's continually you're working on. It's not something that's finished. And when something is finished, that's when I feel that it's art, because that's when it's out in the world, and that's when you can't say, well, it's not done yet, so don't take it at face value. And it's like
Yeah.
there's so much that you can say to like backpedal when you get to that point. And it's like once you're done with it, once you abandon that art, like move on to the next thing. And I only say abandon because it's like such a divisive word, you know. But yeah, I think once you move on from whatever project you're working on, that's when it's really considered something that might be considered art. And I don't know. I think it's really powerful. And I actually talked in one of my creative exploration series about the importance of actually finishing things and like sitting
Yeah.
down and being
Yeah.
like, this needs to be done because otherwise I will spend the rest of my like life working on this. And nobody wants to spend their entire life working on one thing, or at least nobody that I know.
Sure.
So there's so much to do out there, and you can't spend your entire life on one thing.
And
I
I
think
agree
that,
with that pretty
sorry, go
pretty
ahead.
strongly for sure. That's
Mhm.
a definite yeah. Because I mean I've been dragging my feet so long on actually doing like an actual trimmed down stream in the form of a let's play for so long that it was, even putting out my first episode, I almost want to say it's not really finished until like I'm happy with it. Almost to that extent, because I mean I know you're never like completely happy with it, or otherwise you'll never grow. But like there's a certain sense of satisfaction that you can say this is good enough to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of where I'm trying to get to with my editing, because it's a learning experience, right?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot to it, and I mean, Shaka, you have a lot of experience in that, and watching you do editing was a huge inspiration, and made me want to go, hey, I think I can do that. I can learn that. And
Totally.
you've got a lot of the flows down and a lot of the tips and tricks down and a lot of the skill behind it. But I feel comfortable in saying that someday, I mean, I'll be at where you are now, in a
Oh
similar
yeah.
capacity in terms of skill and proficiency. And until I really get there, I can't really fully say that what I'm producing is art myself. Even if I guess art is kind of a subjective word there, because I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
is a let's play art? I mean, that's a discussion
Yes.
for another day, I think.
I'm going to go right ahead and say yes, absolutely. Um,
Yep.
I think anytime that you, um, how to put this, one of the
Any-
things that you will learn if you ever take an art appreciation course is that fucking everything is art. And we immediately think of studio art. We think of photography. We think of painting. We think of illustration. We think of comic books. Even some people don't even think of that when they think of art. And I think that the that you can create art in most anything you do, whether it's working behind a cash register or whether it's painting a beautiful painting. Like you can, it is possible for you to do more than is required, to take pride and care in what you do and how it's done and how it's received by others. And I think that those are all parts of making art. And so I have honestly a little bit more of a loose, a little bit more of a loose definition of what art would be, but that's simply because the artist experience is something that I think is available in a surprisingly large range of things, and the idea of limiting what we consider classically art or the artist or something like that is really injurious to the whole human race.
Yeah.
To get really crazy about it.
Yeah.
Like it's important for us to be comfortable and willing to let people really explore their voice and what's important to them, and what they have to say. And when we have people in the world that are busy being the arbiter of what is or is not art, it all it does is injure. All it does is prevent. It's like one of my favorite guys in the universe, Kevin Smith. He
I like Kevin Smith.
yeah, he's the best. And my favorite quote from him is that the world is full of why not. go out and find, or the world is full of why. Oh, I want to have this idea. Oh, I want to do a Let's Play channel. Oh, I want to make a story. Oh, I want to make a comic book. Oh, I think it'd be cool to have a coffee shop. Oh, I want to make pastries and sell them online. Oh, I want to do catering. And all you'll get from most people is why. Why do you want to do that? Why can you do that? Why? All this why. And he says, fuck that. Find why not. Go out and find people that are like, yeah, why not? Cool. You want a hand? Why not? Why not? Yeah, why not? And that's so important. That's so important to surround yourself with people that are why not people, and to have that why not attitude. And
Right.
all it does is prevent cool things from being birthed into the world when we have a narrow view of what is and is not art.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get really deep there, but that bothers me a lot.
Yeah,
when
now that
people
the
do
light
'cause-
topics are out of the way, let's
No,
talk
no,
about
that's good. That's good. And I apologize for my dog barking. He is very
it's
needy
cool.
right now. I don't know why. I think it's because we're recording a little earlier than we normally do, and he's a very routine based dog. So breaking his
fine.
routine.
Like, I'm not getting my mandatory belly rub. What is happening
Exactly.
here? Mandatory social interaction. Mandatory belly rub, dude.
Exactly. So right now I'm kind of standing still in Minecraft while I scratch my dog's chest. So I apologize to anyone watching, but
It's fine.
it is mainly a talk show, I guess, right? So, so one of the, I appreciate you going in depth on that, Shaka, because I mean I agree with that 100%, because you got to say why not, and
Yes.
you can't really arbitrate what makes art, because it's such a subjective thing. So I guess when I look at my own work, I'll have to look at it with a more open mind and say, am I satisfied with this as an art piece, versus am I satisfied with this as a piece of content that will be consumed and thrown away in no time at all. So actually, that's a good thing. Come on.
Yeah, I think something that is really important to keep in mind is that there's I'm gonna mess up who this is. I think that it is the comic book artist Doug TenNapel,
Go outside.
who once said that finished is always better than perfect.
Yeah.
I have
that
heard
it
that
is-
before, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's something that he picked up from somebody else, or I mean, it seems like pretty conventional wisdom when you get into the higher levels of creative professionals.
Right.
That because the reality of getting it done and getting paid and feeding your family and yourself, like, that's a real concern that people don't take into consideration. And it's truly a luxury to be able to finagle and fiddle and mess with something until it really is just perfect. Like, that's not real.
No.
And I would argue that you grow so much slower when you get paralyzed in preparation like that and let projects become so precious that you can't just go, it's not perfect, but it's enough, and it's good enough to put out there and get some feedback and move forward and try again. Because art is a try again kind of thing. It is, it's a skill like anything else, and you don't want to get stuck in this, well, it's not perfect, because that is toxic.
Yeah.
More specifically, finishing a project is a skill that a lot of people
Yes.
don't really understand that they need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, very important for anybody. Like, one of the main reasons why I started doing that 2-hour track challenge is because I wasn't finishing projects. Because I was starting something and like, oh, this isn't exactly what I want. So I just, I put it in my black hole folder, because projects go in and they don't come out. And then they just languished there. But once I had this thing, it's like, okay, I have 2 hours, and after these 2 hours are done, I am putting this online. What am I going to do? Like that, it completely changed my perspective on how to make things. And it made me realize that, like, just putting something out there is the important part. Not necessarily making it perfect, not necessarily, tweaking every little knob that I could. It's just making something that's cool and something that sounds neat, and just putting it out there and then moving on, and, not necessarily forgetting about what I did, but not agonizing over every tiny detail that's in that project.
Well, interestingly, when I finished my first edit of my stream, which I was talking about earlier, I actually, the sense of accomplishment was intoxicating. Like, just getting it done was was worthwhile. And like I was like, man, this feels great. Like I actually got something done. Like what is this? Like I never get things done. So like actually getting it done. And so like the very next day I was editing another video, and I got stuff done, man. And that's just like one of those things that I don't do very often, because I'm like with video games, I start them but I never finish them. And I mean that's a little different than a project, but the principle at heart is kind of the same, because there's an end goal and you're trying to meet it, and if you don't meet that, you feel a bit like a failure. And it's very easy, much like depressive thoughts or down thinking. It's very easy to fall into that trap of, I'm never gonna get anything done, I'm never gonna do anything worthwhile, it's just never gonna happen, and to just give up. So it's like that black hole folder, but with your own attitude. And another thing that I read was interesting was attitude is what was it? It was crap. I think it was negativity is an attitude, something like that. And it just it's something that can be corrected by you, and you have control over that. I mean that's a you thing, right? So it was interesting to read that. There was this thing posted on Tumblr of all places today, that was pretty cool and full of like really like inspirational things. That I really
Thankfully
liked.
It didn't trigger anybody.
You don't know that.
You never know.
That's true.
Did you look at the comments?
No, I did not.
It's a trap.
I've learned to avoid comment sections everywhere on the internet if I can.
Yeah, it's not good.
So
I have a friend who is a professional artist. She started doing, painting and art through school. She's one of the most unbelievably hardworking, industrious. I just admire the hell out of her. And she likes to say that we all have. What she says, she has a funny way of saying it. She says, "You got to get the fail out." Going back to what we were talking about before with the just get it done, keep going, don't stop. She asserts, and I was like, "What do you mean by get the fail out?" And she said, "Well, I mean, we all have." She says, like, okay, for example, take like me. Like, I'm confident that I have probably like 5,000 pieces of just garbage art in me that I just need to get done with first.
Yes.
Before I can move on to making something worth making and worth selling, and that is at a acceptable professional level. And getting stuck trying to get this one thing right is never going to be helpful. And also letting anything get precious or anything like that is also not going to be helpful. And just like, go into whatever it is that you're doing knowing that it's not going to be the best thing that it could be, or the best thing that you're going to make, or the best thing that you have made, and just like be at peace with, like, you got to get the fail out, you just got to do it.
Yep.
Get it done, move through it.
Don't fall in love with your projects.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, such a bad
don't do
idea.
Just don't do it.
Definitely a bad thing.
Seriously.
It's
That's
also
a real
a trap.
bad thing.
Yeah. But it's so easy to do, because like you work on it for so long, and then you're just like, oh, this is so wonderful, it's gonna make me $1 million and I'm gonna get famous, and you like start building these expectations about what it could be, and it rarely ends up being like that. And it's just don't fall in love with your projects.
So I wanted to ask you something to kind of shift the topic a bit, but I wanted to ask your view, and Ben's, of course. So we're all streamers. We all do streaming here, the three of us.
Yep.
And I've learned something interesting. Some of the smaller streamers I know are jumping ship off of Twitch entirely and moving to the new platform Beam.pro. Interestingly, which I find fascinating, because let me give you a little background on Beam.pro, because as it stands right now, which is September the 14th as we're recording this to date this, so people aren't like, oh, you're wrong because it became the biggest thing overnight. No, but as of today, like, I looked at their site while I was at work. I was on a break, and I was looking at it, and they had all of 640 people on the entire site watching streams. I went and counted the active, the game categories or whatever. Like you
Sure.
you categorize your gameplay. And so there were sub 1,000. The other day there was like 1,080 something on a
Yeah,
Saturday
barely
night.
over 1,000.
Yes, and
That's awesome.
yeah, and it's kind of like a new frontier. So I'll say that much. It's not an old platform. It's not like Hitbox where they just don't have an excuse at this point to not have any kind of growth, because Hitbox is not a terrible platform, but it's trying so hard to be Twitch that it actually, like, people that are on Hitbox are like, I'm gonna go back to Twitch. So
Oh,
like,
wow, really?
yeah, because I mean they follow the same kind of stuff. Like they have a stream delay. I mean they even use panels in the same format as Twitch does. So
Sure.
so I've taken personally to using Restream now, because another thing that you
Yes.
said in your interview with Mr. Ben Burns was, you mentioned it was in reference to social media, but you said go where the audience is.
Yep.
You said, you set up a Snapchat, and you're not like you weren't there when it was like started, and you normally would just have no interest in it, but because you're a content creator and you're trying to grow a brand, you've kind of taken to it, because not necessarily because you want to, but because to be able to connect with an audience and to grow your audience, you have to go where the people are. That was another thing that really stuck with me. And so I was having trouble with Twitch one night, and so I figured, I had a couple of people say in my chat, because the stream died and I couldn't start streaming again because Twitch was being finicky as it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they were like, "Hey, you should go stream on Beam." And I'm like, "What the heck is Beam?" And so I went and looked at it, and it's a live streaming platform that is it has a really slick HTML5 player, where Twitch still hasn't officially rolled out its HTML5 player, even like 2 years after they announced the dang thing.
Yeah, they're quote
Right.
working on it.
Yes, they've been rolling out a beta to people. So to be fair, it does exist, but it's not.
Yeah, but only for the hyper popular folks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so so they have a really nice HTML5 player, so it's nice and fast, and the delay is like less than 2 seconds, whereas on
Yeah, they were saying it's about a 1 second delay on their documentation.
and if you use their they
so
have
crazy.
they have a new system, actually a new protocol that they're using. I don't remember what it's called, but it has less than a half-second delay. So you literally can connect with people almost in a one-to-one, absolutely live fashion, which in Twitch, 20 seconds really isn't that big of a deal. People are used to it. People get used to it. It's really not that bad.
But they gotta get used to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes.
Because
But
I don't know how many times people that are, friends, family, or whatever, that are supportive of me and doing my projects and wouldn't normally go to Twitch, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll come watch Shaka on Twitch. He's my cousin, he's my friend, whatever. And they're like, dude, what's going on? Like, you're not answering me for so long. It's like, oh yeah, that's how Twitch do.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't like that.
Well, but to be fair, I mean, there's no guarantees that Beam will even keep that kind of model, that they can sustain it, because they only have 1,000 viewers. If they get 1 million viewers like Twitch has, that delay is going to have to increase, because your infrastructure won't be able to support it without millions and millions of dollars. I mean,
Yeah.
Twitch's lowest delay that they can offer to their partners, who get all the good stuff, is only
Like,
5
15 or
seconds.
something?
Well,
Oh,
I think
5,
it's
wow.
I think it's down to 5 or 10. But that's the best they can do, and honestly, it not only is it a limit of the protocol, because the RTMP or whatever is not the world's fastest, newest protocol. It's been around for a long time, but
Yeah.
the that delay, I mean, is indicative of, I mean, you've got streamers like Lyric who pull in like 70,000 people or whatever when he streams. That's insane, and that's 7 of Beam's entire population on one night on one stream. So to be fair, like, there's no guarantees that that's going to change. Like, that could change overnight, and they could be like, well, we can't support this, and we have to have a longer delay. They also don't offer any transcoding options, as far as I know, like Twitch does to their partners, where part of the reason there's a delay is because it transcodes down to to a lower quality, a medium quality, and a high quality alongside
Right.
the source quality. Whereas for regular streamers, I mean, there's really no excuse, because people are receiving at the size you're streaming.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I think a lot of it has to do with technical limitations on Twitch's side. But the reason I even brought it up is because, like, aside from Restream, which, oh boy, I've decided to start using, like, I personally think it's kind of a strange thing to jump ship, especially this early in Beam's life, because it could just become another hitbox and just fall to the wayside. So I guess my question is like, what does you guys take on that? Like, do you see any value in? I mean, not necessarily in just Beam specifically, but in like leaving Twitch as a small streamer, because on a personal level, I mean, being a small streamer sucks. It's the worst thing ever. I mean, I don't want to be a huge streamer. I don't want lyric levels of popularity, because that's almost unsustainable in my view.
Whole new different set of problems.
Right, and I don't know if that's gonna like even last, because the thing with new media is it's always shifting. I mean, Let's Players are a more established medium, and they're raking in the millions of subscribers and that sort of stuff. But live streaming is an ever-changing medium, and there's it's still very new. And I mean, comparatively, I mean, YouTube videos have been pretty established for quite some time. I mean, Let's Plays not really, but I mean, well, even that. I mean, Let's Plays have been around since what, 2007? Is that right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
I think that in their current form, most of the guys that are really big got started in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But most of the people that are huge on like Twitch and doing streams there, I mean, Twitch has only really been prevalent since like what, 2013? Like maybe even 2012, like late 2012 type thing. Like, it has not been around very long. And so it's like one of those things that like makes me wonder, like, how, I don't know, it's kind of a big question to ask, but like, like, do you see any value in leaving the big player right now, which is Twitch? Oh god, I'm gonna die. Don't die, don't die.
Oh god.
Don't die.
Why?
I died. Crap.
Holy shit.
Well,
There's so many bad guys. I'm gonna die.
we both just died.
Doing?
Well, I wasn't even with Shaka. We were in different places.
Crap.
But so
I went into the Nether and then got gang raped by a bunch of awful evil pigmen,
Yeah, that would do it.
which was not a good time. I forgot that they're not aggressive unless you hit them first.
Right.
Which was,
I did that the first time we went in.
The first time we went to the Nether, that's exactly what Tim did.
Yep.
He's just like, what's these guys do?
Yep. And then I was like, oh god, I just made a terrible mistake. And then they started coming through the portal, and it was nuts. But like,
it's a bad time.
What are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, because I'm just curious. Because to be fair, we're all small streamers here. I mean, there's. I mean, I would categorize a big streamer as in the the low thousands to like a medium-sized streamer would be in the low thousands to upwards of 10,000. I would say would be medium-sized.
Sure.
So like, what do you like as small streamers? Like, what are
they're in the base. They're in the base. I'm sorry. I have no weapons. Oh god.
Oh my god. Do you need
I made
Daddy
a
to come
terrible
back
mistake.
and help you guys out?
I made a terrible mistake. Oh god.
we call that pulling.
Oh god, no! Don't go to the menu, son of a bitch. Why? Help, please.
I might have to swing over and watch your recording after we get these posted to see what exactly went wrong.
I was trying to go get Netherrack because I'm trying to make a magnificent, chilled out place downstairs where you have a nice fire crackling, but
instead you created Event Horizon.
Pretty much.
So
yes.
Okay.
It is the portal to hell. We are playing Doom now. Voxel Doom has come. Well, while I watch these guys bang on the doors, which is like the scariest sound ever. I'm sorry, they're destroying your doors.
It's fine. I'm coming back.
Thank you. To answer your question, Tim, about whether or not you feel like it's a good idea to pop over to the beam.pro. So I think it's a no-brainer if you have access to free tools like Restream.io.
Right.
Especially considering that Restream.io has such a fantastic setup with what am I trying to say here? It's because it's free, but also here we go. I found my thought. Such a fantastic chat setup that aggregates all of the different things that you are using. Now, I don't know if it will work with the chat from Beam because I haven't tried it yet.
It does,
but there you go. See, there's zero reason to not use it then.
Right.
Hey Ben, can you come in here and fight your way through these guys with me? Because you're so powerful with your sword. I lost like all of my things on the other side of that.
I was just checking our corners, basically, making sure that there wasn't.
I apologize
any...
if you get murdered.
Oh my god.
See?
Are they aggressive? I don't think they're aggressive anymore.
They're aggressive, maybe not to you.
No, they were coming at. They're coming right for us.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm totally dead.
Oh wait, I shouldn't have gone through. Oh, I made another mistake. Oh god, run! Maybe I can pull. I'm gonna try and pull them away.
I really need to watch. I really need to watch Shaka's side of this.
Oh no.
I'm kiting them away from the gate so that I can collect all my yum-yums.
Well, there's been a catastrophe.
Well, I got my stuff,
It's an exciting adventure!
Yeah,
Yay!
We're bringing drama
no!
back.
Oh, I only have one. No, in the flames! Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep talking about the thing and not try and get my things.
I'll come back and try to help you out.
I gotta get my things. I gotta get my things. I'm a materialist.
But I really think that there's no good reason in the universe to not take advantage of an exciting new service like that has a small user base.
Stuff too.
That's okay. I managed to kite them all away, and so.
Oh god! Nope. I don't have any weapons. I have a shovel.
They're so strong. Why are they so strong?
I don't have any weapons equipped.
Oh god! I hear a ghast. No, you know what? This is not worth it. Not worth it.
Run for your life.
He went through the portal.
That's okay. I don't care. I got to get out of here.
Yep.
This is bad. This is all kinds of bad.
That's cool.
Is he in here?
Yeah. But so's all my stuff.
Well, when I died. Anyway, okay, all right.
There's two of them.
I'm gonna recuse myself from this mayhem for a moment and answer your question. So,
okay.
I believe that when there is a new platform that has an audience of some kind, but has an audience, and what you were saying how many people, how many thousand were there? Peak times
1,000.
1,000. Okay, so 1,000. So it's a small community, but what you're saying is that there is, if you look at the documentation on what it is that website offers, or even what it is that website is, it's not hard to see that there's tons of value. And I think that you have the unique opportunity to get in early on, essentially like a land grab. Old school,
that's what
real estate baron style.
Yeah, that's what Bennett said.
There.
Yeah, and that's what Bennett said, because the people that are watching there are going to be more fanatical because they have a reason to be there and not Twitch, because obviously something about Twitch turned them off from that service entirely. So
sure.
They're going to probably be more dedicated in terms of following and viewership. And I mean, that's a really, really solid point. I think there's something to be said about an oversaturated market versus an undersaturated market. But I also see a lot of cons to the service. I mean, they have a lot of... It's a really ambitious idea with the low latency and stuff, but it also encourages trolling because one of the big reasons that Twitch has a delay is to prevent...
All your stuff's down there.
Is to prevent stream sniping.
Some of it's over here too.
Which is a pretty unique thing in general, because it's like people will follow you into a game, like say you're playing Counter-Strike, and they'll find which server you're on, they'll join your server, and then they'll use your gameplay almost like a second screen, as if they were screen watching in Mario Kart or whatever, and kill you repeatedly and literally just bully you, so that they can be on screen, because I guess for whatever reason they don't stream themselves or whatever, and just want to be popular or what have you. So it's a major issue, and I think Beam having such a low latency, low delay is a real negative to competitive players, or to players that are just trying to play casually, like myself. Like if I played Overwatch, like if somebody came in and started bullying me, I'd just quit the game, and play something else.
Yeah,
and that's not fun for the streamer.
It would be a nope, no thank you kind of situation.
Yeah, and that's a big negative, because there's no way to control the delay in Beam. It's either you have that delay or not. And in Twitch, you can actually opt into a lesser delay at the risk of because it's like
More
a higher
buffer.
at the risk of more buffer. So I don't know. I just personally, it has its pros and it has its cons, but it's a young platform, and I mean personally, I think, like you said, you'd be remiss to not jump on it. I mean, what do you think, Ben?
I kind of swing both ways on this. Like I like the idea
Ooh.
of yeah, I know,
Sorry.
right?
Couldn't help it.
Nah, I know. I saw it coming. I like the idea of, for one, just taking this from a different perspective, that there
Sure.
are services starting up that are competing against Twitch. Because honestly, there are a lot of things I don't like about Twitch.
Oh, me too.
And we have discussed
Absolutely.
that in the past in the MSIS. Most notably, how they selectively break their terms of service depending on the person.
Yes.
That infuriates me for a lot of different reasons. But the new service, it seems really nice, and like I mentioned with Tim, and he was talking about it before, the early adopters are definitely going to get in there first, and I think that that's just fine. Like, let the early adopters go in, test the system, see if it works, and if you are an early adopter, that's great too. But I think that it's good to have variety. It's good to have this kind of stuff, because Twitch, for some people, like for the creative stuff that I do, Twitch is not the ideal platform. Like, just period. They do try, and they are getting better at
Yeah, try as they might.
yeah, they are getting better at accommodating to creatives, but their platform is focused on gaming, and that is what they do. And they do partner with creative people, but I don't think that that's their main focus. And I'm totally for Beam. Like, I want to try it out, and especially the restream thing where I can split my stream between Twitch and YouTube. That is
Yeah.
huge. Like, I have probably a larger following on. Well, I do have a larger following on YouTube than I do on Twitch, and I would love to grow both of those at the same time rather than just focus on one. Like right now, I have like exclusive content on Twitch and exclusive content on YouTube, but I'd love to just have stuff for everybody, that if you're a YouTuber, you don't have to sign up with Twitch to view the stuff that I make on YouTube, or the other way around, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right,
Where it's
right,
just
right,
like,
right.
you can't expect anybody to sign up for a service just for you. Especially, I mean, at this point, if you're not signed up with Twitch or YouTube, there's a specific reason why you're not. So
That's
just
a good point, actually.
Yeah.
It is.
just being able to split your stream and make it as accessible as possible, I think is really useful. And if Beam can do that, if Beam is a service that doesn't deal with all the bullshit that sometimes Twitch has, I think that it's definitely a viable solution for a lot of problems that that Twitch has. I think I stole your wood when you died.
I think the biggest thing to keep in mind with a new service like Beam is that it's going to constantly be in flux. So
Yeah.
the big thing is that they may come out with updates that entirely break what makes their service attractive in the first place. So with Twitch, you kind of know what you're going to get. You know that partners are going to get first dibs on just about everything, and you know that changes are few and far between, and they're usually very slow coming. And you also know full well that they are going to certainly appeal to what brings them more money. So they're going to do more partnerships. They're going to do things like Twitch Cheers for their partners.
I don't know if we've talked about Cheers yet on the MSIS.
I don't know if I want to. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
okay, so
Oh, boy.
what Twitch cheering is, and I mean, you'll have to forgive me because it's a definite source of aggravation for me as a small streamer. What Twitch
It would
cheering
sound
is,
like it.
it's an in-service way of donating to your streamer, to your favorite streamers. So pretty much what you can do
Oh.
is you purchase bits for a premium. So say you buy $5 in bits, it end up being like $5.30, like $6.
It'd be
or
like
something.
$6.20.
Like $4.50 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's just,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
sure.
And so you deposit money and they turn into what's called bits, Twitch bits, and you can go into your favorite streamers. Right now, it's only partnered, and as far as we know, it's going to stay only partnered because they're the only people worth money, right? So
Sure, makes sense.
which I'll tell you, it doesn't make sense to me, but I'll tell you why in a little bit. Because I talked about this at length with Devious Furball, one of the gentlemen who hangs out on my stream a lot. So pretty much what it is you go in and you can say /cheer, and then directly after cheer a number of bits that you want to give to the streamer. The streamer gets the bits, so they get that much money. I don't know what the ratio is, like how it translates, but because Twitch is taking their bit first, their cut when you load the bits onto your account.
When you purchase it, yeah.
Right.
All of it goes to the streamer. So it's less hassle for the streamer because, if you donate through PayPal, that PayPal takes a cut and it ends up being a smaller number, that sort of thing. But anyways, the point is that you get a badge when you use Twitch bits. You get a badge by your name in that chat. So for partnered streamers, you would have their sub icon if you're a subscriber, which denotes you from the other people, as well as a badge, which we don't really know what they're going to do with the badges yet, like if there's going to be certain badge levels that you can, restrict by for chat or anything like that. But we're not quite there yet. But so pretty much it's like an e-peen thing, right? It's look at how big, I am. I donated 1,000 bits, so I have a gold badge next to my name. I'm awesome type thing. It's bragging rights, right? Digital bragging rights.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sounds like a cool idea in theory, but they only gave it to partnered streamers, which makes zero sense in terms of regular streamers. It would still cost the same amount for bits, so it makes zero sense to limit it to just partners, but it incentivizes the partners to utilize the service more and push for it. And also incentivizes becoming a partner, because if you only take bits, people might just throw the bits at you, and you'll never partner, and they don't really want to drive off their partners, right?
Sure.
So because they want that contract, they want that exclusivity. Because from what I understand is that Twitch partners have an exclusivity clause. So if I were to become a partner with Twitch, I theoretically couldn't use Restream anymore. All of my content streamed when it was live streamed would have to go on Twitch. Unless, of course, you negotiate that out of the contract, which there's a chance that they
probably unlikely.
Yeah, it's probably...
So you're saying whenever you stream at all, or if you choose to stream to Twitch, you can't simul-stream to other places?
Correct. You cannot simul-stream anywhere else. You are a Twitch streamer.
You could stream somewhere else if you cared to, but you couldn't do them both at the same time?
I don't know. I don't know if you could.
It's against the rules to stream anywhere.
I believe what I read, and this is... Here's the thing. Every Twitch contract has an NDA clause. We know that. They can never disclose what's in the contract. However, from the rumors and hearsay that kind of trickles down from... Because I'm on the Twitch subreddit a lot, and a lot of like different Twitch communities where you kind of hear like, oh, well, this person... they don't say names specifically, but they're like, a partner told me this. Well, from my understanding, it's a complete exclusivity clause. Anytime you stream, it has to be on Twitch. No matter what. You cannot stream anywhere else. You are a Twitch streamer. You are a Twitch partner. However, if you get big enough, they fly you out to TwitchCon. They pay for your hotel, all that crap. So it's one of those things that kind of, it's a trade-off. You're becoming, in essence, a Twitch employee when you sign that contract. And so it kind of boils down to that, is it worth it, selling your soul to the devil kind of argument. Oh, wow, an enchanted bow dropped. What?
Nice. You know what? What it reminds me of a lot. It reminds me of the, what you could be called abusive multi-channel networks, MCNs.
Yes.
That sounds like some of the things, the horror stories you hear about when people, get an email and they're doing pretty good and they've shot up and now they've got 5,000-6,000 subscribers and they're like, oh, cool, well, we can get you more exposure. We can do this and you can leave anytime you want. Blah 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 blah. And then there's stuff, hidden in their mountain of paperwork that you have to sign that basically means that, they get their firstborn and you're left nut. And, it's
yeah, because
it's
you
really
pretty
bad.
much, you almost sign, I think in some cases you sign your brand away to their network. So
absolutely.
If you break away from it,
you have to leave your whole channel. You have to just walk away from your channel.
And they get to keep it and they can throw someone else in there. I mean, that's why you see some channels. I can't name any specifically, but I do know there are a couple channels that did like, they were like fact shows and stuff where they had a host that everyone really liked, and they joined an MCN, and then they decided that they wanted to do something different, and all of a sudden there's a new host on their channel, and everyone's like, this is this person's channel, what the heck? And it's like, nope, it's actually the MCN's channel, because it becomes their brand. So for me, my Insert Coin Theater brand would stop being mine. Like, it would not be mine anymore. It would be somebody else's, and I'd have to come up with a new brand and start from scratch. Now,
isn't that gross?
It's disgusting.
And
I mean,
disturbing.
it's a thing, and I mean, I think Twitch goes the same route, and I think it's negotiable if you've got a lawyer and you can call their shenanigans, but you have to know what you're doing and you have to get a lawyer. And a lot of partnered streamers, I don't think, go that far. I mean, I think you can quit at any time, but
you can quit at any time.
But the channel, I think, becomes property of Twitch, because they're you're done, and so you quit. So they'll either delete it or find someone to replace you under the same name or something like that. So now there's a lot of really cool perks that come with being a partnered streamer, because like I said, like TwitchCon and stuff, for me that would be huge to go to TwitchCon, because it's always over in California, and that's a coast to coast trip for me. Wouldn't be big for you because it's probably in your own backyard or something, but
I know, man. I've got VidCon and TwitchCon and Comic Con. Like, it's all right.
None of the really awesome cons show up over here in Florida, which honestly I don't quite understand, because we have a lot of gamers and stuff here, like a huge amount of, like, we have like some pretty big conventions that go on, like MegaCon happens in Orlando, and they pull like 60,000 people. I mean, it's not trivial, and we've got Orlando, which is like home of theme parks, so it's like, why nobody does anything down in Orlando where they can like do really cool meetups, and for example, like a TwitchCon East or something in Orlando, because Orlando has one of the biggest convention centers I've ever seen. It has like 5 wings that are like like twice the size of Tampa's convention center, and Tampa's not a small city. It's like twice the size of Tampa's convention center for each wing. Like, it's huge. It's just ginormous, like obscenely large. And they had like Star Wars Celebration there, and like 70,000 people showed up for that, and just stuff like just crazy crap like that. And like why they've never done anything like that, because then they could have cool meetups where the streamers get to go to like Disney or Universal or whatever, and they can go with their fans or whatever, and do stuff like that. Like, I just don't understand the mentality. I mean, I know there's a lot of theme parks over in Cali, so I understand why they do it in Cali, but why they don't do like an East version, like when they do like PAX East, they don't do it in Florida, and just stuff like that is like what the heck, guys? Like we gotta. Florida is a very populous state, and excuse my rant, but like, excuse my tirade here, fine. But like, Florida is a very populous state. We got a lot of folks here, a lot of kids. I mean, Florida is where old people go to die, TM. But we do have a lot of young folks here, and it's a very vibrant state. It's not like we've just got like 30 kids and a billion old people. It's really like a pretty healthy amount of gamers and stuff like that. Like, I've been in the gamer culture down here in the Central Florida area, well, I guess the Southern Central area, for quite some time, and I mean, gamer culture is massive here. It's just gigantic, and it's not like Austin levels of huge, but Austin has like 80,000 game developers and stuff there, and like, that's just their culture. Like, that is their buildup. And I know California has a lot of that. Again, it's where Silicon Valley is. So, I guarantee you a lot of folks, I don't know if it's like a restrictive, like if it's laws that are restrictive or something. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but pretty much my rant is, they seem to avoid Florida at all costs. And I know it's hot and it's humid, but if you come in November or December, it's nice. It's very nice. It's like 65 degrees and sunny and not too hot, not too uncomfortable. I don't know. Anyways.
You know whose fault it is?
Whose?
Florida, man.
It's all the bath salts, and
I'm not even kidding, man.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So many insane stories that are coming out of Florida. Florida has become the ass of so many jokes.
It's true.
About just like, what the fuck, Florida?
Yeah, it's very true.
And so I mean, so I think the honest sort of more serious answer to this frustration of yours, I'm thinking it's an optics thing. I'm thinking that they're thinking it sounds cooler to be able to say, come to Los Angeles, come to
Yeah,
California, and instead of come to Florida, it's like
come to Florida.
Florida has a lot of cool stuff, but at the same time, Florida has a sort of spotty kind of public optics. They're not it's not 100% thumbs up. Florida's great. It's like Florida's great, and people eat each other's faces sometimes, and people try and sell golden tickets to heaven outside of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I mean, like there's some crazy shit that happens in Florida that's just like, for real? Is that a real thing that really happened?
Yeah,
wow.
no, you're right. But I mean, then again, oh no, go ahead, Ben, please.
Well, I was just gonna say, just Minnesota is, as far as Minnesota is concerned, it's the same thing, where it's just like,
sure,
it's a wonderful place, and there's actually a huge creative community here, but it's Minnesota, and a lot of people have their preconception of what Minnesota actually is, and it's just like, it's frozen all the time, isn't it? And it's like,
there's like 20 people there, right?
Yeah, it's 20 people there.
I give you that one all the time.
They don't have the internet. Everybody just hangs out in a big room. They call it the room.
Yeah. So guys, we are at an hour. So I think we're going to call this one quits right now, and I mean, we're just going to start up again in just a moment.
Yes.
But
sounds good.
I think that we are going to call this episode to a close right now. And Tim, where can we find you? Actually, no. ShakkaPanda's the guest.
Shakka
he gets
first.
to go first.
Don't do me first. You're so rude.
Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at youtube.com/ShakkaPandaPlays. You can also find me on Facebook.com/ShakkaPandaPlays. I am at ShakkaPanda on Twitter as well as Instagram, and I am also ShakkaPanda on Snapchat and Musical.ly.
All right, that's awesome. All right, Tim, where can we find your crap? No, where can we find your stuff?
Look, I know it's bad content. You don't have to judge me. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/InsertCoinTheater. That's usually the best avenue to get me. But you can also find me on Beam.pro and Hitbox.tv under the same name. So it would be Beam.pro or Hitbox.tv/InsertCoinTheater. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/InsertCoinTheater.com. That's InsertCoinTheater, DOTCOM. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/InsertCoinTheater. Twitter, twitter.com/InsertCoinTim. And then finally, you can find me on the web at InsertCoinTheater.com. How about you, Ben? Where can we find you?
You can find me online at Twitch, Twitter, Patreon, and YouTube at Ben_Burns. That's BURNES, because the E is important. Everybody spells it wrong. I primarily do music stuff, and as of the past 4 days, it's been exclusively game development, and maybe I'll talk about that in the next episode. But yeah, I do mostly music stuff and also games, so check me out. And I think we are good. Let's end this episode.
Yeah, we'll see you
guys
tomorrow. Yeah.
Next time.